Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate. How important is cash flow? That is the question of the day. It's the question every day. I get asked that question an awful lot. How important is cash flow? Well, quite frankly, if you're investing, it's the most important thing. Everything else comes after. Cash flow is number one. I like appreciation, but that's not what we're talking about today. So if that sounds interesting, please subscribe, please hit the like button, and let's get rolling. Cash flow is the amount of money that's left over after paying all of your expenses on a rental property. So let's say you've got a rental property that rents for $1,000 a month. Well, if you use my 40% rule, which you can see in this video over here, you'll know that 40% of the rent is going to go to expenses. The only other expense left after that generally is going to be your mortgage payment. If your mortgage payment is, say, $500 a month and your expenses are $400 a month, then you've got $900 a month total in expenses. If your rent is $1,000, 1,000 minus 900 would be what your cash flow is, which is $100 a month. That's a little light. So I wouldn't suggest buying a house with $100 a month cash flow. I like somewhere between $200 and $300 per door or per house. That is more comfortable for me. But let's talk about the importance of cash flow and why it's so important. Guys, cash flow is what you live off of. That is your profit. Let's say you have a hamburger stand. You sell hamburgers all day long. You sell 100 hamburgers a day. It costs you 25 cents to make them and you sell them for $1. That means 75 cents a day, or 75 cents per hamburger is your profit. Well, it's the same thing with rentals. Your profit is what you live on. That's your paycheck every month. So your cash flow is the number one most important thing with property. Now, the caveat there is if you're a land flipper or a house flipper or a wholesaler or whatever the case may be, you're buying based on quick appreciation or a quick turnover. So if you're a flipper, you're going to force appreciation on a house by fixing it up and making it nicer than you bought it. If you're a wholesaler, you're buying something under market value and selling it below market value so that the flipper has enough room to make a profit, but that you have enough room to make a profit too. So that would be another form of somewhat forced appreciation. Cash flow from rental properties, on the other hand, is what happens every month. I call it mailbox money. I did not coin that phrase. It's around, but that just means that in the old days, our rent checks used to come in the mail. Now it's all electronic transfer, because I know someone's going to say something, because they did last time. But cash flow is what you buy your groceries with. It's how you make your house payment. It's how you take trips to Hawaii and Alaska and wherever you want to go when you can go. That's what cash flow is. Cash flow is going to be your future paycheck. So how important is that to you? Let's dissect it a little bit. If you bought 10 houses and by the time you retired, your cash flow was $300 per house, you'd have $3,000 a month in legitimate cash flow, because we've already taken into consideration all of the major expenses that can happen, do happen, and will happen. If you do that and the cash flow that's left over is $300 per door, well, and you've got 10, that's $3,000 a month. That's not bad money. But let's say that's what it was when you started. Cash flow increases over time. That's another thing people don't think about. So if you've got properties and you're doing rentals and you're doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, that's why I say get started early, then all of a sudden now your cash flow grows and grows and grows, because here's the thing, as your debt goes down, your rents go up. So you owe less on the house and you're getting more rent. So your cash flow can increase over time. Always important though, the number one rule of investing for me is make sure it cash flows. Number two is make sure that you buy that property under value. Do not pay full price for it. Now, if it cash flows crazily and it's at full price, I have no problem with that. But generally speaking, the way it works is you have to buy it under value in order to make it cash flow decently. All right, so let's recap for just a second here. Why is cash flow so important? Cash flow is what you live on. that is what is going to be your paycheck. Because someday, the idea behind owning rental properties is someday you can quit your day job and become a full-time investor. Well, until your cash flow is sufficient, you can't do that. And that's why I always say use the 40% rule or 45% rule if you're buying apartments to figure out how much your expenses are going to be so you can figure out what your cash flow is going to be. Now, like I said, that video is down here. It's also going to be posted at the end. I want you guys to watch that because that is the honest truth as to what it's going to cost you to run your property. Don't listen if somebody says it's 20% or 30%. 40% is a minimum. 45% is probably closer, but most of my properties run at 40% because I've owned them for a while. I understand them. I've worked out all the kinks. All right, so I hope that gives you an idea of cash flow and why it's so important. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Sign up for notifications so that every time I drop a video, you'll get notified. Also, if you want to get started in investing, I've got a checkoff list of how to get started posted down below. I want you guys to download that today. Here's why it's so important. If you don't start taking baby steps today, you'll never get started. I know that because I didn't take baby steps till I was like 47. So it goes without saying, get started today. And the only way to get started is to put a plan in motion. The only way to get a plan in motion is get a starting point. That list is your starting point. No cost, nothing in it for me. I just want to help you guys get started. All right, thank you guys. Look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.
Hey guys, check out these 2 videos. They're really going to help you on your investment journey. I'm also on Instagram. Tons of great video content there. Really good stuff. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time.